I have shared my screen. Is it visible there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for talk. Today I am talking about the food safety and its compliance for millet products. Our earlier, hello, hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. The earlier speakers already have talked a lot about the millet and millet-based products and their importance for our nutrition as well as for our country. So basically, there are a lot of products like after primary processing, ready-to-eat kinds, snake-based products, bakery products, instant products, and ready-to-cook kind product like noodles, pasta, mix, idlis, beverages are there. Now, if we look at our mandatory standard, that is the FSSAI. So as per Section 16 of FSSAI Act, the manufacturers, processors or distributors or sales and import of foods, they have to ensure that whatever food that they are selling or manufacturing, that must be safe and wholesome. So, and how this can be achieved. So in FSSAI, they have highlighted or shown in schedule number 4 about the hygiene and safety requirements. So in section number 4, like licensing requirements or registration of your food business operators, they have given the guidelines. So currently, these guidelines or details are available in the food safety compliance system that is available on the FSSAI website. If we look at this food safety compliance system, so there is a licensing or registrations, regulations are given. In chapter 1, there is the general definitions and other things are described. In chapter 2, like procedures for how to register your food business operators or petty businesses, or how to obtain the licensing and what are the requirements they have given. So for that, particularly these procedures, registration and licensing, they have shown the 4 schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3 and schedule 4. So in schedule 1, they have given the different list of food businesses. In schedule 2, they have given the details about the how we can go for the application forms like declarations or required documents, list of documents for that, then conditions of the license, what are the conditions that we have to comply and that is required for we have to obtain this license. Then the different format for the license is given, format for annual returns or guarantees that is given. So these are the application we have to comply these requirements for the application forms. Then what will the structures of the fees for new applications or the renewal. And in section number 4, they have given the hygiene requirement. So this particularly for the food safety, this hygiene requirement is the very, very important part. So in schedule number 4, hygiene requirements, there are 5 parts are there as per the FSSAI. So part 1, that is for the petty food businesses, for the registration. So anyone who have the turnover of the up to 12 lakhs, so they have to go for the petty food business registrations, like for the manufacturers or processors or handlers or for any street vendors or unit other than the manufacturers or the processors. For part 2, for the manufacturers or processors for licenses, that may be like state license or central license. And part 3 for milk and milk products, or part 4 for meat and meat products, and part 5 that is for catering food services establishments are highlighted. And on the website, you can see the details for the how, what are the requirements for licensing or registration application flow they have shown. Right? And this is available on the FSSAI website. We can go through and all these details are available. So if we are not complying, or if we are non-conformance, that may lead to the like rejection of your application for license or registrations, or even notice maybe that may be given to you. And there are provision even for the penalties are there also for the unhygienic or unsanitary processing or manufacturing is there. So how we can go for the we can ensure the food safety. So first, food safety. What is the food safety? Food safety means whatever products, suppose millet or millet based products that you are manufacturing or packing or selling, so that must be safe. Safe in terms like it must be free from anything present in the food that may cause the adverse health effect to the consumers. So there may be a different kinds of the hazards that will be present in the food, like physical hazards or biological hazards or some allergens. That means natural components present in the food that may have the adverse allergic reactions to the consumers, or the chemical that is present in the your food products. So these are the different physical, chemical, biological, or allergen that may come in your products. So to make the food safe, you have to ensure that we do the processing in a way that our food must be free from these kind of the contaminants. So in physical hazards, like your food items that must be free from any foreign particles or any objects like bone, or so any physical material, our products must be free from the physical contaminants. And most common physical contaminants or the hazards like glass, because during the processing uh, any glasses are coming, or any piece of any crockery during serving, or metal parts from any cans or foils, or stapler pins, blades, cheap pieces of disposables, threads, band-aids, hair, fingernails, bones, jewelry pieces. So these are the physical items. So your products must be free from any kinds of the physical hazards or the presence of these physical items in your products. And if you look the sources of these physical contaminations, then during the processing, like the peoples who are handling the food products, or the packaging materials, or machineries, equipment, or the premises where you are doing this processing or packaging, and the paste that is in your processing environment, if there is a poor paste management or poor rodents management policies there, then even paste or rodents may come, or from the environment, from surrounding environment, or from raw materials if it is very poor quality of raw materials, or if proper not cleaning is carried out. In that case, poor quality of raw materials that may even lead to your physical contamination. So you have to ensure that the physical contaminants must be, your products must be free from the physical contaminants. Then chemical hazards. So any naturally occurring, because there are certain chemicals that is naturally present in your products, or during the processing some chemical substances that may come and that may have the adverse health effect to the consumers. So this kind of chemical contaminants or the hazards, we have to ensure that our products must be free from these contaminants. So there are like natural chemicals may be present in your products, or certain chemical contaminants may come from the processing, like toxic metals or pesticides from the fields, or any colorants that may have added externally to make your products more visibly look very good, or cleaning compounds or sanitizers that are used for the cleaning and sanitation of your the processing lines, or any equipment lubricants, or any chemical food additives or preservatives that may have been used. So we have to, so these are the chemical contaminants that may come from the processing. And if we look at the sources of the chemical contaminants, that may be like pesticides or preservatives or mold inhibitors that may have applied in the field, or veterinary drugs or cleaning chemicals that is used in the for cleaning and sanitation, or food additives that are permitted but have been added in excessive amount. Then perfumes, scented soap, chemical reaction between metal and acid foods, or machine oils. So these are the chemical contaminants that may come from the field or from the environment, or because of the poor managements during the processing. They may contaminate the products. Then biological hazards. This is the very important, particularly nowadays, because in uh, biological hazards are the organisms or the substances that is produced by the microorganisms. Because if we are not handling it correctly, or we are not keeping in a very good clean environments, then there are the chances that the bacteria or molds or even viruses may grow or multiply or produce certain metabolites that may be very toxic. So this kind of if we keep under favorable environments, so in that case, those biological contaminants that may be a threat or lead to the foodborne outbreaks. So we have to ensure that the persons who are handling, they must follow the good hygienic practices. They must follow the good manufacturing practices, maintain the hygienic environment, proper cleaning, sanitation that should be followed. And in that way, we can minimize the risk from the biological hazards. If you look at the sources of biological contamination, like your raw materials that we are using, if it is poor quality, then that may create the problem. Then the people who are the working. So workers are the direct in contact with the food and food products. So we have to train them what to do and what not to do. What are the hygienic practices they have to follow during the manufacturing or handling the food and food products. We have to train them. We have to regularly train them, because this is the very important, the food handlers. The regular health checkup of those people is also important to prevent the contaminations. Then equipments, so proper cleaning, sanitations of the equipments on the regular interval, that is also important. Then air and dust, because in environment where these millet or millet based products are manufactured, so in that, if it is like a humid or like dusty environment, that naturally will contaminate your products. Yeast and molds will be the major threat in that kind of the products. Then soil, waste, then water that is used as ingredients or for the cleaning sanitations, then the food waste. So these are the sources of the biological contaminants. So that we have to take care. Then effect of biological hazards, like the biological hazards may lead to the foodborne infections, like persons after consumptions of the food that contains the pathogens. So what after consumption, the individual may get the so the symptoms for the foodborne infection or foodborne intoxications because of the consumptions of the food products in which the pathogens have grown, and during their growth they have released certain toxins, and those toxins that is present in food products, that along with the food products, that may enter the system of the consumers, and because of that, that may lead to the adverse health effects. So foodborne toxins, that these toxins or metabolites or certain chemical contaminants. So we have to ensure that our products must be free from those kinds of the hazards. And allergens, if in the same facility, if the other products are manufactured, like cereals or the nuts and milk products, so in that case, that may lead to the allergen components in the products, or if that is added with those millet and millet based product as ingredients, then that may lead to they may have the allergic effects. So how there are food safety management system planning is the very important things. So as we discussed, schedule number 4 compliance is the very important. So if you go through the FSSAI, they have listed they have given the checklist, and all food business operators, they have to comply against those checklists. So this we have to ensure this we comply this checklist that is given in the schedule number 4, and this can be based on the good manufacturing practices or good hygienic practices. So as a industry, we have to follow the good manufacturing practices guidelines, and for the employee, we have to train them and we have to ensure that they must follow the good hygienic practices. In food safety management system plan, we have to highlight the flow charts, how the manufacturing will be done, what are the different steps, and we have to identify the hazards, like during handling from starting to the end. At different stages, what kinds of hazards like chemical, physical, biological, or allergens that may come in products, and what steps or processing that should be taken so that we can prevent or we can minimize the risk. And so those control steps or critical control points we have to follow. So we have to define the critical limits. What should be the acceptable, what should be the not acceptable, and regular monitoring of those critical limits that we have to follow. And if anything goes wrong, then we have to go for the corrective actions. And all the responsibilities of all workers, then recording of all the steps like cleaning, sanitations, handling, processing, packaging materials, everything that should be recorded. So that all included in the food safety management system plan. So this is the very detailed structured plan, and that must have to be followed. So for processing steps, we have to define the processing steps, like for receiving, how you will receive your materials, what will be the quality checks, what will be the quality parameters for your materials. Suppose your millets, what should be the size, shape, then what will be the acceptables. It should be free from any kind of the paste, rodents, presence of dust, dirt, or any other like stones. So in that case, we have to receive in good quality. We have to check the quality controls we have to maintain. After that, proper storage and holding that should we have to ensure that in a well dry cleaning area we should store them. We have to hold in a good temperature, and those area must be free from like moistures, or it must not be suitable for the growth of the activity of the microorganisms. Then preparations. So how you will prepare, in what form, what amount, and how you will do the processing or the preparation you will do. So those steps we have to define. Then packaging and labeling. So this is the importance. So everything as per the FSSAI, we have to mention all the things like product's name, their nutritional requirements, their expiry dates, everything we have to labels. Then storage. After packaging, we have to ensure the storage, proper storage of your food products, and distribution. So these process steps we have to define. Every steps we have to define, and regularly we have to go for audit and management reviews that are the important for the particularly for the processing. And there are certification programs are there, like good hygienic practices or hazard analysis critical control points, and there are accredited certification bodies are and acceptable to FSSAI. So these certification programs that will add your quality of your products. So this is, I think this will be sufficient for food safety and compliance for the millet and millet-based products. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Have any